When I returned home after working overtime, my husband suddenly told me he had fallen in love with someone else. I just want to divorce and be with her, even if I leave with nothing. I stared at the divorce agreement on the table. Suddenly, I felt a sense of relief. Okay, I agree. It's human nature to love the new and loathe the old. In the same, Michael looked at me in astonishment. You just agreed like that? I sneered. My tone was dripping with mockery. What else should I do? Oh, you think I should go crazy and question you? Ask who that woman is. Right. And I should cry bitterly, beg you not to leave, beg you not to divorce. Right. On one hand, you'd rather leave with nothing just to divorce me. And on the other, you hope I beg you not to divorce. So do you want to divorce or not? Are your left and right brains fighting? Michael was speechless. I ignored him. I picked up the divorce agreement and read it carefully. After confirming there were no issues, I reached for my bag to get a pen. Just now, Michael had hurriedly pulled me in, so I hadn't even had time to hang my bag behind the door. I came home after working overtime and hadn't even eaten a warm meal. He didn't even ask why I came back so late. He just directly brought up divorce. I've had enough of these cold days too. I pulled a fountain pen out of my bag and neatly signed both copies of the divorce agreement. Capping the pen, I stared at the heavily discolored fountain pen in my hand. This was a gift Michael bought for me with half a month's part-time job earnings on our first anniversary of dating. After using it for nearly 20 years, it was worn out. It was time to get a new one. I threw the fountain pen into the trash can. Let's go handle the formalities tomorrow morning. Then I walked away without looking back. I went to my daughter Emma's room. She had her back to me, burying herself under the quilt. I walked over and sat on the edge of the bed. Stop pretending to sleep. I know you saw everything. After a long while, she finally turned over, sat up, her eyes red. Mom, Dad doesn't want us anymore, does he? I sighed inwardly. Having lived for nearly 40 years, I've seen many separations and deaths, so I can accept separation quickly. But Emma is just a 12-year-old child. In her eyes, parents are her sky. After Michael and I separate, no matter who she stays with, half of that sky will collapse. But she is also a part of this family. She should know all the changes in the family. I confessed to her. Yes, Dad asked for a divorce, and I agreed, but we just won't be husband and wife anymore. We are still the parents who love you the most. Emma looked at me. Tears gushed out like a bursting dam. Mom, I'm sorry. She covered her face. Tears flowed through her fingers. I was confused. Shouldn't apologizing be my line? I quickly moved her hands away from her face and gently wiped away her tears. What's wrong? Why are you suddenly apologizing to me? Emma cried and sobbed, her shoulders shaking. Last time Dad came to pick me up from school. He came with a pretty auntie. Dad said the auntie was his secretary, but when Dad was driving, that auntie kept leaning on Dad, and her hand was on Dad's thigh. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't want to lie to you. I really didn't know how to say it. I clutched the bed sheet tightly. My eyes grew colder inch by inch. How dare Michael? He even flaunted it in front of Emma. I exhaled a breath of turbid air, and held her in my arms with heartache. Emma, this isn't your fault. Anyone facing this kind of thing would be conflicted. If it were me, I would be the same as you. Emma let go of me. Her tearful eyes looked at me pitifully. Mom, do you still want me then? I was stunned, raised my hand and gently stroked the back of her head. Smiling, I said, it should be Mom asking you. Are you willing to stay with me? Emma sniffled and nodded vigorously like pounding garlic. I pinched her little cheek. All right, you have school tomorrow. Go to sleep early. She lay down obediently. After coaxing her to sleep, I turned off the light and left the room. The next day, Michael and I went to handle the divorce procedures. Michael also started packing, preparing to move out. Neither Emma nor I asked if he needed a hand. We treated each other as transparent. But this evening when I came home from work, Michael stopped me. Your mother called me today. My heart suddenly rose to my throat. She said Jack lost his job and wanted me to help Jack by letting him work at my company. This isn't difficult for me, so I agreed, but I thought I should still tell you. Just as his voice fell, I had already taken out my phone and dialed my mother's number. I even put it on speaker. The call connected quickly. Mom, regarding Jack's job, let him figure it out himself. Michael and I are already divorced. Don't look for him anymore. Divorced? When did this happen? Why divorce? Emily, you. I knew what she was going to say. Nothing more than advising me not to divorce. After all, she liked Michael as a son-in-law more than she liked me. So I interrupted her immediately. Michael has someone outside. We're divorced. We have no relation anymore. Do you understand? Silence on the other end for a moment. I took the opportunity to hang up. Looking up, I saw Michael's face flushed red. He probably didn't expect me to be so direct with my mother. The phone vibrated. It was Mom calling. I hung up, got up to leave. If there's going to be an argument, I don't want to argue in front of Michael, but he grabbed my wrist. Emily, it's just giving Jack a job, a small matter. You don't need to refuse me and argue with Mom. I have a bad relationship with my mom and hate arguing with her, but am even less willing to owe Michael a favor. Before, he was my husband, family, now we are divorced. In my eyes, he is just the child's father. Other than that, no different from a stranger. I shook off his hand heavily. I'll handle this myself. You don't need to worry about it. He stopped me. There was confusion in his voice, even a hint of anger from embarrassment. You'd rather argue with your mom than accept my help. Why? I sighed, suddenly laughed lightly. Do I need to remind you that we are divorced? Michael's face turned pale. Yes, we are divorced, but we were together for 20 years after all. Even if we can't be husband and wife, we can still be friends, right? I only found it funny, being friends with your ex-wife. Did you ask the girl you have outside? Michael's pale face shattered inch by inch. He stood frozen in place. The phone was still ringing. I was busy going out to answer the call, ignoring Michael, and turned to the stairwell. Just as I picked up, Mom's shrill voice almost pierced my eardrum. Emily, speak clearly. Did you really divorce Michael? Yes, divorced. Mom was so anxious her voice cracked. How could you divorce him? He's the boss of a big company now. You're divorced and almost 40. Where are you going to find someone with such good conditions again? Besides, which man doesn't cheat outside? Just endure it and it'll pass, won't it? Look at me. Didn't I endure it too? Listen to Mom's advice. Don't divorce. If you divorce, you'll have nothing. I suddenly wanted to cry. That philandering father seemed to stand in front of me again, looking coldly at Mom who was begging him to stay. I had advised Mom to divorce, but she hadn't worked since getting married. If she divorced, she couldn't even support herself, let alone us siblings. So even if she had to ask Dad for money like begging, she wouldn't divorce and let the woman outside benefit. She wore away her years in such a rotten marriage until Dad passed away. A mocking laugh escaped my throat. So I have to be like you and endure for a lifetime. Silence on the other end. When she spoke again, her tone was impatient. What else can you do if not endure? Isn't life just about enduring? And if you divorce Michael, what about your brother? I knew it. It all comes back to Jack. After all, Michael, the son-in-law who gave her face, had helped Jack several times. How could she bear to give him up? Then let Jack go live with Michael. Since I'm divorced, the position of Mrs. Michael is vacant. Jack can just strive for it. I had no mind to listen to her nagging, even less willing to argue with her. Directly interrupted her. I am not you. I don't need to endure. Divorced. I can support myself and my child. I'm just notifying you about the divorce, not discussing it with you. It won't affect the $2,000 alimony I give you every month. As for where you spend this money, it's up to you. Anyway, there won't be more. I hung up the phone, leaned against the wall, looked up, and exhaled, but tears still fell. I wiped them clean before going back into the house. This is the adult world. Even crying must be done secretly. My mom called me a few times later. Her words implied that I should find a job for Jack, but he's an adult with hands and feet. There's no reason he can't survive. I wouldn't help. Seeing my tough attitude, she had no choice but to give up. Michael moved out. The night he moved out, I heard Emma crying in her room. I didn't go in to disturb her. Children have their own worlds too. Emotions that need to be vented secretly. The cooling off period passed day by day. Michael and I didn't contact each other again, until one day after a meeting. There were dozens of missed calls on my silent phone, all from Michael, and a message from him. I'm downstairs at your company. Come down to find me when you see the message. For Michael to be anxious enough to come to my company, it must be something serious. I hurried down. As soon as I reached the lobby, I saw him pacing back and forth at the entrance, so I walked over. What's the matter? He just wanted to speak. A colleague entering the door greeted me, interrupting him. Good day, Director Emily. Michael was suddenly stunned, staring at me with wide eyes. When were you promoted to director? My tone was calm. Last year. Why didn't I hear you mention it? I lowered my eyes. A few years ago when I was promoted to manager, I went home happily to tell him, but he just said a faint congratulations and had no other reaction. I still remember the year I was promoted to deputy team leader. He was happier than me, insisted on celebrating. Michael, who usually didn't spend more than $20 on a meal, dragged me to order several $100s worth of crayfish that day. But since when? Promotions are no longer celebrated. Wedding anniversaries only have formal flowers. Even our birthdays lack that happy birthday. We no longer go shopping or watch movies on weekends. Even eating at the same table has become very quiet, and we no longer ask about each other's work. Except for the child, we seem to have nothing to talk about. Under these circumstances, what difference does it make whether I say it or not? An inexplicable sense of fatigue arose in my heart. I didn't want to entangle with Michael either, so I changed the subject and asked him, "You were looking for me so urgently. What's the matter?" Michael hesitated to speak. His Adam's apple rolled. It took a moment before he spoke. "My mom just called me. It's her birthday this weekend, and she wants the family to have a meal together." I raised my eyebrows slightly. Just because his mother wanted to have a meal for her birthday, he ran all the way to my company building to find me. I didn't know what he was up to, but I was too lazy to ask. "Okay, I'll tell Emma. You come pick her up then." I wanted to leave after speaking. Michael pulled me again. I glanced at him, then looked down at his hand tightly gripping mine. Only then did he let go, looking embarrassed. "I mean, you come too." I frowned tightly. "What do you mean? Didn't you tell Mom about our divorce?" Michael said with difficulty. "Well, can we not tell Mom about our divorce for now?" His faint voice was almost pleading. "Mom has high blood pressure. I'm afraid she'll be stimulated." "Then why didn't you think of this when you proposed divorce?" Michael was silenced, lowering his head awkwardly. I sighed lightly. "When Emma was born, I was extremely busy trying to regain my footing in the company." Michael was focused on his startup, guarding his company that had just started to improve. "It was my mother-in-law who took the initiative to help us take care of the child, solving our urgent need. Until 2 years ago, her health was not as good as before. Not wanting to drag us down, she went to a nursing home. Usually, my mother-in-law treated me very well. I respected her very much, and didn't want anything to happen to her. I'll only agree this once, before getting the certificate. Find a time yourself and explain clearly to Mom quickly." Michael breathed a sigh of relief. "Emily, thank you." I only nodded slightly, didn't say much, and went straight upstairs. On the weekend, I took Emma to the nursing home. Michael was already waiting at the door. We went in together. My mother-in-law was very happy, holding Emma's hand to give a red envelope one moment, then holding my arm asking about my well-being. The atmosphere in the room was joyful and harmonious, until a soft and delicate voice interrupted us. "Mom, happy birthday." We all turned back to look. A young girl stood at the door, looking like she had just graduated a year or two ago. Young, beautiful, and energetic, Michael was dumbfounded with fright, quickly stepped forward to block the woman trying to enter. "Sarah, why are you here?" Emma suddenly tugged at my sleeve. Her face was extremely ugly. She leaned close to me and whispered, "Mom, it's that young auntie in Dad's car, that secretary." Before I could be shocked, Sarah, blocked by Michael at the door, had already squeezed in. She walked up to my mother-in-law with a smile. "Mom, let me introduce myself. My name is Sarah. I'm Michael's girlfriend." My mother-in-law was stunned. Michael's face was ashen, grabbed Sarah's hand and dragged her out. "Sarah, go. Go immediately." Sarah was unhappy, threw off Michael's hand. "What are you doing? It's your mom's birthday. You brought your ex-wife but not me, and now you want to drive me away. I don't care. I'm staying here." Saying this, she even glared at me fiercely. My mother-in-law's face was solemn. She wasn't a fool. She could understand the meaning in Sarah's words. "Michael, speak clearly. Did you and Emily divorce?" Michael was at a loss. Even opening his mouth became diffident. His voice was weak like a fine line. "Mom, I'll explain to you later." Sarah interrupted him directly. "Why explain later? Explain clearly now." "Mom, they have already completed the divorce procedures. Once the cooling-off period is over, they will get the divorce certificate." My mother-in-law's chest heaved violently. She glared at Michael, raised her hand pointing at Sarah, sternly questioned, "Is this the person you kept outside?" Michael pursed his lips and didn't speak. Sarah pouted, looking displeased. "Mom, don't say such ugly words. What person kept outside? Michael is already divorced. I am now his serious girlfriend. Besides, they lost feelings long ago. Now Michael and I are truly in love." Slap. A heavy slap landed on Michael's face. Sarah screamed in fright, distrustfully touched Michael's red cheek. Her delicate voice was full of grievance. "Mom, why are you hitting people?" But my mother-in-law didn't even look at her. Her eyes looking at Michael were full of disappointment and resentment. "Bastard. Not learning anything good. Learning from your damn father." Back then, Michael's father cheated and abandoned the mother and son for his lover outside. Didn't even give child support for Michael. My mother-in-law raised Michael with great difficulty. In this life, what she hated most were women who destroyed other people's families and men who cheated outside. The son she raised single-handedly turned into the husband who hurt her deepest in the past. She couldn't accept it. Her vision went black, and she fell straight back. We rushed to send her to the hospital in a flurry. Heart disease triggered by high blood pressure. Fortunately, sent in time. After rescue, she was fine. I took Emma home first. Didn't go to the hospital again. After Sarah's scene, I understood. Michael would rather leave with nothing to divorce me. Nothing more than Sarah pressing hard for a status. But I didn't expect Michael's taste to be so bad, causing me to get into trouble too. I just wanted to hide far away. But my mother-in-law was so angry with Michael that she wouldn't eat and even drove him away. He had no choice but to run to me, asking me to help persuade her. I couldn't bear to see the elderly suffer, so I went. My mother-in-law held my hand, tearful. Emily, you are so good. Yet Michael did such a thing to hurt you. Sorry, really sorry. My heart felt sour. My mother-in-law treated me like her own daughter. In her, I felt a motherly love I never had. She did nothing wrong. How come she became the one apologizing now? My mother-in-law wiped her tears. Emily, I won't stop your divorce. Michael is no longer worthy of you. I also hope you don't look back and find someone worthy of you in the future. I was surprised. Didn't expect my mother-in-law to say this. While I was touched, the door was suddenly burst open. Sarah forcefully pulled me up from the bedside. Why are you so shameless? You're divorced. Yet you always linger like a ghost. Are you trying to use visiting mom to rekindle old feelings with Michael? I tell you, Michael doesn't love you anymore. He stopped loving you long ago. Do you understand? My head hurt from the noise. Indeed, still young, mind full of only love. But didn't Michael say he would watch Sarah and not let her come to the hospital? This person is really unreliable. My mother-in-law is a patient. I couldn't scold people in front of her. Softly comforted her. Mom, I'm leaving first. Remember to eat and take care of your health. Then turned and quickly left the ward. But Sarah was relentless, still chattering behind me. I didn't want to pay attention to her, until she said, "Why don't you look in the mirror?" A 40-year-old yellow-faced woman. Michael wants to vomit looking at you. I'm younger and prettier than you. What do you have to compete with me? I couldn't help stopping, looking back at her like looking at a fool. Don't you have a day when you become a yellow-faced woman? Sarah tilted her head up. Of course not. I chuckled. Then your life is really short. Sarah was stunned. Her momentum weakened instantly. What did you say? My tone was indifferent. You said 40 years old is a yellow-faced woman. But you won't have a day when you become a yellow-faced woman. Doesn't that mean you won't even live to be 40? If not short-lived, what is it? Sarah was furious, raised her hand to hit me, but was stopped by a shout. Stop. Michael quickly stepped forward and pulled Sarah away. What are you doing? Sarah was extremely aggrieved. Big tears fell just like that. She cursed me to a short life. Michael quietly shielded Sarah behind him. The meaning was obvious. He believed Sarah. But I'm not voiceless. You came to provoke me first, just now in the ward. Your words were already very rude. For the sake of the elderly, I didn't argue with you. You even chased out to call me a yellow-faced woman. I was just fighting back. Michael turned pale with shock. You went to find mom again. Sarah glared at him angrily. What? Can't I go see her? Michael, get this straight. I am your girlfriend now. Am I that shameful? Can't even appear in front of your family. Michael sighed heavily. I didn't mean that. Seeing the two continue to argue, I simply left. Just arrived at the hospital entrance. Michael actually chased up. He panted and said, "That Sarah is just straightforward. Don't take her words to heart. I apologize to you on her behalf. Pity. I am also outspoken. Whether it's straightforward or uneducated, you know very well in your heart." Michael's lips moved, but he didn't say anything in the end. I reminded him, "Remember to come get the certificate when the cooling-off period ends." Then passed him by and left the hospital. Soon the cooling-off period arrived. I agreed with Michael to wait at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. After a long time, he appeared. I was startled. Dark circles under his eyes, stubble on his chin, face haggard. I didn't think much. Thought he was busy taking care of his mother to make himself look like this ghost. But when about to go in, Michael pulled me. "Emily, can we not divorce?" My head was full of confusion. He proposed divorce first. My mother-in-law didn't object either. He had Sarah by his side again. Why suddenly go back on his word? What do you mean? You proposed the divorce. Now you say no divorce. What do you take marriage for? Playing with me? Michael was anxious, speaking stammeringly. No, I didn't mean that. Suddenly his eyes turned red. These years, I always felt I lived less and less like myself. Every day opening my eyes, it's either the company, or home, and the child. I seem to have no life of my own, until Sarah came to the company. She is lively, enthusiastic, innocent and straightforward, as if having endless energy. Watching her climb mountains, surf, dive, not caring about others' eyes, always being her truest self, I felt like I came alive too. That's why I couldn't resist the temptation for a moment and got together with her. But Emily, I regret it. I found that the person I love most is still you. I don't want to divorce you. His hands held my shoulders, eyes full of red blood streaks filled with regret. But I slapped his hands away without hesitation, slapped him hard. Michael was stunned. After all, since he proposed divorce, my reaction had been very plain. Now I rewarded him with a slap. I heard my own voice trembling. You don't still love me. You just found that Sarah's straightforwardness is not as beautiful as you thought. You are tired of her innocence and straightforwardness, so you want to return to the family, but playing enough outside and wanting to go home. Do you think you are a child? And in this marriage, are you the only one with pressure? I paid off the mortgage with you. I didn't rest on weekends, accompanying you to drinking parties to talk to clients. When the child was sick, I didn't close my eyes all night. You still have the nerve to say you couldn't resist the temptation to be with Sarah, but are you the only one facing temptation in this marriage? I have temptations too, but I remember I am a wife, a mother. I have a bottom line, and I keep it. What about you? You have no bottom line, no sense of responsibility, and no accountability. After an outburst, I felt physically and mentally comfortable. In this marriage, I paid no less than Michael. When he decided to start a business, I also desperately negotiated projects in the company, because I had to keep my job. If his startup failed, at least I could support this family. I had to watch over the child's health and study too, weekends accompanying him to dinners, and finding time to accompany the child. I must admit, the passion of youth has long been worn away in the plain and busy years. When a colleague in the office brought me coffee every day, when I had menstrual cramps, he thoughtfully brewed brown sugar ginger tea for me. During meals, we would have endless topics to talk about. Even unable to resist leaning together to whisper, I would also be moved time and again, would also want to enjoy the pleasure of ambiguity. But back home, I sobered up. This is the home we built step by step with hard work. Even if there is not much love left between Michael and me, I still choose to use this little bit of love to maintain our home, even if such days are dull, boring, and uninteresting. Just like the saying goes, loving the new and loathing the old is human instinct. Loyalty is a human choice. So when the colleague brought me coffee again, I still accepted it, but transferred all the money for the coffee to him, and told him that I had already drunk coffee with my husband during breakfast. No need to buy any more, unless there is work to discuss. I won't eat alone with colleagues again, only discuss urgent work after work, no personal matters. I worked hard to protect this home that seemed ready to collapse at any time, until Michael proposed divorce. That little bit of love I had left for him seemed to disappear suddenly. Only then did I realize, having supported bitterly for so long, I was already tired. Maybe my emotions were too agitated, scaring Michael. He didn't speak for a long time, just staring at me blankly, looking me up and down as if he didn't know me. I exhaled a breath of turbid air, but my chest was still stuffy. Even my voice sounded muffled. Michael, there's no turning back once the arrow is shot. Today, you have to divorce whether you want to or not. Michael finally came out crying. I only felt ashamed, completely didn't want to admit he was my ex-husband, strode to the garage and drove away. After the divorce, without having to force myself to maintain a relationship, I seemed to have a lot more energy. Work proceeded methodically, efficiency was extremely high, and overtime was less. Bonuses increased. Emma would go to junior high school after the summer vacation. I had time to accompany her to adapt to the new environment little by little. Michael occasionally came to see Emma and took her out to play. Emma told me that after the divorce, Michael insisted on breaking up with Sarah. After entangling for more than half a year, the two completely separated. I didn't feel much after hearing it, as if just listening to neighbors' gossip. But Michael came to the house more and more often, saying it was to see Emma. Actually, he brought me gifts and flowers every time. He would also use taking Emma to the movies as an excuse to invite me along. 20 years passed. His way of pursuing me was still the same. It's a pity that I am not the girl from 20 years ago. I thought Michael would give up slowly. Unexpectedly, he persisted for 2 years, chasing tighter and tighter. Even Emma got annoyed, even afraid I would really be chased away by Michael. Nervously asked me, "Mom, you won't get back together with Dad, will you?" I was playing Sudoku on my tablet, answered her casual, no. Emma seemed relieved. That's good. Looks like Uncle Sean still has hope. I frowned. Uncle Sean. Emma sat excitedly next to me. Yes, Mom. Uncle Sean is so good, humorous, knowledgeable, so suitable to be a husband. Saying this, she bumped me lightly and winked at me. I looked helpless. It's you who want him to be your dad. Having her mind read, Emma stuck out her tongue at me mischievously. Well, I want to be real sisters with Joy, and I also want a new dad. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Sure enough, people love the new and loathe the old, but thinking of Sean, I suddenly put down the tablet, thoughtful. I met Sean at the first parent meeting in junior high school. His daughter Joy was Emma's first deskmate after entering junior high. At the parent meeting, we naturally sat together. At first, seeing him in a serious suit with a serious expression, I thought this person was a rigid old fogey, but after he took the initiative to talk to me, I found his conversation humorous and refined, not an old fogey at all. Learning both were single parents, Joy and Emma hit it off well, gradually became inseparable good friends. Contact between Sean and me also increased. We would help pick up kids when the other was busy, gather to celebrate children's birthdays, take children out to play together, but every time we only talked about children, nothing else, until that day we four came out after watching a musical and went to a restaurant for dinner. Joy and Emma ran off to play a new escape room, leaving us in the restaurant. That was the first time we didn't talk about children, only about each other. He likes playing Sudoku like me, also likes watching suspense movies and novels, especially Agatha Christie's. We talked a lot, couldn't remember clearly, only remember he made me laugh several times, laughing until I couldn't straighten my back. When Joy and Emma came back, we had changed from sitting face to sitting side by side whispering. Later I learned that Joy and Emma were deliberately setting us up. They wanted to be real sisters, the kind on one household register, but we didn't seem to reject their setup. Instead, entered a relationship more than friends but less than lovers. The doorbell rang suddenly. My thoughts were interrupted. Emma muttered, "Who is it? Coming so late?" She went to open the door. Seeing it was Michael, there was imperceptible disgust in her tone. "Dad, why are you here so late?" Michael held a bag in his hand, like claiming credit. He held it up in front of her with a smile. "Didn't you say you wanted to eat cake from this shop last time? I bought it for you." Emma pouted her small mouth. "Who eats cake so late? It will make me fat." Michael's smile froze on his face instantly, unconcealable disappointment in his eyes. The awkward atmosphere persisted. I had to go over to ease it. "Your dad delivered cake to you after work. You should say thank you." Emma curled her lips, then said to Michael, "Thank you, Dad." I took the cake and handed it to Emma. "Put it in the fridge. Eat it tomorrow." Only Michael and I were left at the door. I wanted to use the late night as an excuse to let him go home early to rest, not wanting to let him in, but he said he wanted to talk to me. We went downstairs to the community area together. Halfway, he stopped. "Recently Emma always mentions an Uncle Sean. Is he your suitor?" Michael stared at me with burning eyes, with a bit of brokenness in his eyes. I didn't answer him directly. "That's the father of Emma's best friend." But Michael wouldn't let it go. "Is he chasing you?" I suddenly realized. This was the purpose of him delivering the cake today. He was always like this, using seeing the child to harass me, in a public place. I didn't want to get angry, but I still asked back unceremoniously. "This doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right?" Unexpectedly, Michael got anxious. "How does this have nothing to do with me? You are finding a stepfather for Emma now. Emily, you've seen what I've done in the past 2 years, haven't you? I really regret it, really want to win you back, win back our home. Instead of finding a stepfather for Emma, we might as well remarry. After all, I am Emma's biological father. No other man can love her daughter more than me. Being together is the best for her." I stared fixedly at his anxious face. Irritation shot straight to the top of my head. "Since you say you are thinking so much for your daughter, then let me ask you, do you know what she likes?" Michael's face was dyed with confusion. Didn't speak for a long time. My eyes almost rolled to the sky. "Now Emma likes playing puzzles the most, likes watching musicals the most, and she especially loves playing escape rooms. But look at where you take her every time, either the amusement park or the cinema. Gifts are plush toys, but she grew up. She is not a 3-year-old child. She has her own unique hobbies. You say no one loves her more than you, but you don't even know what she likes. How can you love her?" Michael was dumbfounded, but still didn't give up, forcibly argued. "That's because we live separately now. As long as we live together again, I can definitely do better than now." His eyes were slightly red. holding my hand tightly, begging me humbly, "Emily, give me another chance. I really want to make it up to you. As for Emma, trust me, only I, the biological father, will treat her well and won't hurt her." The cool breeze gently swept over my curled lips. Even my scoffing voice seemed to be covered with a layer of frost. "Won't hurt her. But when you took Sarah to pick her up at school and flirted with Sarah in front of her, you already hurt her." Michael's face froze. The hand holding mine also let go abruptly. This is the reason why I can never forgive Michael. It doesn't matter if he hurts me and makes me sad, but he cannot make my child uncomfortable. After our divorce, I often saw Emma crying secretly in her room, because she saw Michael and Sarah together but didn't know how to tell me. Even after she confessed to me later, she still carried a heavy psychological burden, feeling that helping Michael hurt me, letting me down. I spent a lot of effort to persuade her to unload this burden. I suddenly thought of Sean again. Emma and Joy like playing escape rooms. He spent 3 nights studying guides, then accompanied them to play. He would also collect various interesting puzzles to give to Emma, even pay attention to musical tours and grab tickets for the 2 children. Sean indeed knows how to be a father better than Michael. Maybe, as Emma said, suitable to be a husband. I came back to my senses, only to see Michael angry from embarrassment, more agitated than just now, eyes splitting. "Then can you guarantee this man won't hurt her? Emily, you can't be so selfish. Can't just seek your own happiness and rush to find her a stepfather." I laughed. "Who does he think he is? Controlling me? That's still better than you rushing to find her a stepmother before even divorcing." Michael suddenly avoided my eyes, face full of embarrassment. My patience ran out too. "Michael, what needed to be said? I said it all when we divorced 2 years ago. If you want to visit the child, care about the child, I won't stop you. But if you want to use the child to talk about getting back together, then my home doesn't welcome you in the future. Also, my private life is not for you to point fingers at." I didn't spare him an extra glance, turned and left. Even though I faintly heard sobbing, I didn't look back. Walking downstairs to the unit building, I received a message from Sean. "Emily, Joy and I are planning to go to the seaside. Want to invite you and Emma together. Are you free tomorrow?" Immediately after, Joy's message popped up on the phone. "Auntie Emily, you must come tomorrow. Dad has something to say to you." I laughed out loud. What a coincidence. I also have something to say to Sean. I replied to Sean, "Okay, see you tomorrow," and replied to Joy, "I will go tomorrow." Looked up. The moon was full. It's time to try someone new.